Last night in Boston, the Yankees were 5 outs away from being no-hit by Sonny Gray, but they somehow managed to lose the game in a worse fashion than had that happened. Because the Yankees were down 2-0 going into the ninth inning, and the Boston Red Sox decided they were going to hand the Yankees a pity win and say, hey, you know what? We'll let you leave here with one. But then Fernando Cruz took the mound in the 10th inning with a 2-run lead and said to the Red Sox, no, thank you. We'd rather get swept. It was a very bad 4 days in Boston for the Yankees. Like I said, they got swept in 4 games. They've fallen out of first place. Maybe they've given some life to a dead Red Sox team that maybe can make a run towards a wild card here. The Yankees went 3 consecutive days without getting a hit in the first 4 innings of a game. They look like a team that has no idea how to swing the bats to even get hits, let alone score runs. But there's a lot of things actually that really bothered me about the game on Sunday night. Now, obviously, getting no hit by Sonny Gray into the 8th inning is not going to sit well with any Yankee fan. And I don't want to take anything away from Sonny Gray, but I think a lot of that has to do with how poorly the Yankees are hitting right now, as opposed to how good Sonny Gray was last night. And he was great. So, like I said, I don't want to take anything away from him. But if the Yankees have any semblance of an idea on how to hit the baseball right now, and they're not going into the 8th inning no hit by Sonny Gray. So that's number one. Number two, I can't stand the way Aaron Boone managed this game last night, okay? Because you're going into the 8th inning here. There's 2 outs. You got a runner on, and Austin Wells is at the plate, okay? Austin Wells' OPS right now is a nose hair above 500. Yes, just barely above 500. I think it's 504, somewhere in that range, okay? The guy's got 190 plate appearances right around there for the entire season, and he's got an OPS barely above 500 with Paul Goldschmidt sitting on the bench. Now, I know that the Yankees are going to tell you, oh, we want the platoon advantage, right-handed pitcher against left-handed batter. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when the left-handed batter isn't Austin Wells, who Aaron Boone said is moving the needle, but all Austin Wells does when he's in the lineup is move that needle towards another Yankee loss. So that really annoyed me. And then in the 9th inning, he decides to pinch hit Paul Goldschmidt for Jason Dominguez, who's mashing right-handed this year. So he pitch hits for Jason Dominguez, who is hitting a lot better right-handed than he is left-handed this year, as we saw in Game 1 of this series when he had a big RBI single, and then we saw in the finale in Detroit where he had the game-winning home run against Tarek Skubal. That's when he goes to Paul Goldschmidt, and if it wasn't for a great slide by Anthony Volpe, the Yankees don't even get the game tied because Paul Goldschmidt hit a 17 hopper that Boston came home on. So you credit Anthony Volpe for a great slide there. So again, I didn't understand that move right there. And then in the 10th inning, Fernando Cruz's splitter is obviously not splitting today, okay? It's 4-4. You got a runner at third with 1 out, a lefty up. You bring in 5 infielders now. Where is Tim Hill? Are we going to do this again? We're leaving Tim Hill in the bullpen in the 10th inning? Okay? Now, you're looking for a ground ball in that situation. That's why you bring in a 5th infielder so you can come home and get the runner out at third. Instead, he leaves Cruz in the game, who throws another hanging splitter, and Duran deposits it into the outfield for the game-winning hit. So I know that there's a righty in between Duran and Abreu, but you got to get to the next batter in that situation. You're playing batter to batter to get the game into the 11th inning. Why Tim Hill is not into that game right there is mind-boggling to me. And then after the game, Aaron Boone, with the quote of all quotes, he says that we live for this, baby. Okay? It's like a sickness. No, we don't live to get embarrassed up in Boston. We don't live to see you mismanage games that the Yankees should have won after they were being handed the game by a team that you're clearly better than. We don't live for that, okay? The sickness is the fact that you are still the manager after all these years, and you've brought the Yankees to 1 one World Series. And now we come home, a second place team against a Tigers team that the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from just a week ago in Detroit. But the Yankees are going to be facing, again, 3 really good starting pitchers, and their bats have gone ice cold right now. So maybe it's going to be 100 here in New York for the next couple of days. Maybe the Bulls will start flying out of the Bronx. We know Cody Bellinger is a all-star at home, and then you can't find him on the road. Maybe he gets going. Maybe Ben Rice can start finding the short porch and break out of his slump. Trent Grisham will be back, maybe in the Detroit series, but definitely by the Minnesota series at the back end of this homestand here. But the Yankees, they need to get going here, okay? And I know that they're missing Grisham, they're missing Judge, they're missing Stanton, but the offensive output that they had in Boston this weekend is unacceptable. Getting swept up in Boston by a last place team is unacceptable, especially in game one when they couldn't touch Cam Schwittler, and the only way you were losing that game is if you handed it to them, which you did. And then in the finale, when they handed you the game, and then you handed it right back to them. So that's where we're at with the Yankees right now. You know, I'm not worried about them long term, but they got to start playing better baseball. They got to get some guys back, and Trent Grisham will be the first one back. They got to start hitting, and it's got to start tonight against Detroit. Just go out there. The AL Central's in town. This always seems to be the elixir for the Yankees. So let's go and take 2 out of 3 from Detroit here and just erase an abysmal, disgusting weekend up in Boston.